YouTube! Welcome to the Fantasy Football Perspective. I'm your host, Lucas, and welcome to Sleeper Start, Sleeper Sits, Week 9 NFL Edition. If you're not familiar with this is a series I do weekly where I pick a couple, 2-3 fringe flex plays that I'm throwing in my lineups, or 2-3 fringe flex plays that I'm not putting anywhere near my lineups. I think a lot of YouTube creators kind of use their start and sits videos to tell you the obvious. Let's all be real. If you have someone like Dalvin Cook and he has a bad matchup, you're still putting Dalvin Cook into your lineup. So I'm trying to pinpoint those fringe flex plays to get into your lineup. Week 9 NFL features 4 teams on a bye. Those 4 teams are Detroit, Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Washington. So keep that in mind as I'm going through my sleeper starts and sleeper sits video. If I say anything during this video that you think can help you set your lineup and win your matchup, like the video, drop a subscription, leave a comment. I love answering comments. I don't get as much as I did when I first started, but I love answering comments. I want to help people as much as I can. And remember, this is my perspective. Without further ado, let's get into this. Hit that intro. So welcome back. Sleeper starts, sleeper sits, week 9 NFL season. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. My first sleeper start of the week is someone who's actually been featured as a sleeper sit of the week many, many times throughout this season just because inconsistencies. But that's Myles Gaskin. And let me tell you why. If you guys aren't familiar with the Dolphin situation, Malcolm Brown's now on IR. Take his workload off. He was getting anywhere from 8-7 all the way 5-3, taking about 5 to 8 touches from Myles Gaskin a week. So you take him out of the equation, all you have left is Gaskin and Ahmed. So we look at last week. Ahmed's only in for 23% of the snaps, where Gaskin's up there touching 60%. Against a very, very good Buffalo team. He got the touch. He wasn't super productive with this 3 yards per carry, but he has a juicy matchup this week against the Houston Texans. I just don't see any situation that Gaskins disappoints, although it can happen. I really liked him against Jacksonville this year, and he kind of had a drop early in the game. They just didn't use him that much, but this Houston at home, give me Gaskin. He's going to be getting into a lot of my lineups if I have the ability to put him on there. Myles Gaskin, my first sleeper start of the week. Sleeper start number 2 of the week seems pretty obvious. Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman is quietly having a fantastic season, sitting number 10 PPR points this year, and he just looks better and better and better. He's almost in every single snap. At this point, I think it's almost safe to say Michael Pittman is a lock in your starting lineup unless you're just absolutely stacked at the wide receiver position. We look at this last game, 15 targets, 10 receptions, 86 yards, and 2 tutties, baby. Going against 2 back-to-back juicy matchups this next couple of weeks, New York Jets and Jacksonville. Expect Michael Pittman's great games to continue. Michael Pittman, sleeper start number 2 for the week. So, recapping our sleeper starts of the week, we have Myles Gaskin and Michael Pittman. Let's dive into our sleeper sits of the week, and this one may be obvious because he has not had a good season whatsoever, but I think it is Odell Beckham Jr. Today, as a Browns fan, has been a very, very humiliating day from how these guys are treating each other, what's getting leaked to the public from family members, wives, even friends. It's disappointing as a Browns fan because I'd like to make them work. But let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's move all past that. If you guys didn't know, Odell Beckham pretty much is requesting a trade through his friends and family, which is just not good. It's just not good. And makes the Browns a distraction. I am open to seeing there's kind of two ways this can go. Maybe it's being overhyped by the media, and Baker and Odell behind closed doors are fine. But when you have someone's dad out there, making videos of all the passes Baker Mayfield's missed to Odell Beckham this year, it's a big red flag. And they are going against Cincinnati this week, who just gave up 400 yards to the Jets' backup a week prior. So the passing game shouldn't be that bad for the Browns. And if I see maybe a 10% chance that maybe everything behind closed doors between Baker and Odell is okay, and there is a small chance he might pepper Odell Beckham with targets this weekend. Who knows? But safety with your flex play is always what I go for, and there are just much, much, much safer options than Odell Beckham Jr. this weekend. Sleeper sit number 2, and this is crazy because this is who I picked before all the news came out about Henry Ruggs. Disappointing news. Car accident. You guys know the story. I don't need to cover it. I just didn't like his matchup on Bradbury this week, and I thought Bradbury was going to cover him, which is going to lead to a lot of disappointing Henry Ruggs fans. So I'm kind of shifting this Henry Ruggs and going to Bryan Edwards. I think Bradbury kind of shifts over to Bryan Edwards this week. But if any of you guys watched the Chiefs game last night, Bradbury was actually guarding Kelsey a lot in the slot, which I guess if that continues to happen, maybe Bryan Edwards turns into a sit or to a start. But I'm gonna go by safety. I think Darren Waller's too big. Matchup proved too fast. I think he's the play. I think Bradbury bounces over to Bryan Edwards and kind of locks him up. So Bryan Edwards, sleeper sit of the week number 2. So to recap our sleeper sits of the week, we have Bryan Edwards and Odell Beckham Jr. So this is another episode of Sleeper Starts and Sleeper Sits, Week 9 edition NFL football. Like I said in the intro, if I said anything during this video that you found useful and is going to help you set your lineup and hopefully win those matchups, drop a like, drop a subscription, and remember, this is my perspective. I hope you all have a great night. Happy Wednesday. Lucas is checking out. Peace.